Let's rewind to a time when video games weren't just in your pocket or on your console. They were a revolution. And at the center of it all was a company with a quirky name and a dream to change the world. And I'm talking about Atari. How did Atari go from inventing the video game industry as we know it to literally burying its failures in a desert? Grab your joysticks because this is the wild ride of Atari. It all started in 1972 when Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney founded Atari. But why did they choose that weird name? It's a Japanese term for "you're about to win," so that kind of makes sense. Their first hit was Pong. This simple table tennis game became a cultural phenomenon. Video games weren't just a fad, they were the future. And Atari, they were raking it in. By 1976, they were so successful that they sold the company for $28 million, and that's big money for the 1970s. Then came the Atari 2600 in 1977. This little box changed everything. Before, if you wanted to play a new game, you had to buy a whole new machine. With the 2600, you just swapped out these cartridges and the consumers' minds were blown. Games like Space Invaders, Asteroids, and Centipede, they dominated living rooms everywhere. Atari was the king of gaming. When you're on top, there's a long way to the bottom. By early 1980s, the entire game industry were flying a little too close to the sun. Cheap knockoffs flooding the market, quality control just went out the window, and Atari pumped out games faster than anyone could play them. And then there was E.T. Yep, that E.T. Atari rushed the game to market after landing rights to the blockbuster movie. It was terrible. So bad that millions of unsold cartridges were literally buried in a landfill. No, really. They dug them up years later, and it's a whole thing. And we're going to tell that story another time, so don't worry. This disaster became the symbol of the 1983 video game crash, and the entire industry almost went under. And after the crash, Warner sold Atari's home console business to the guy behind Commodore. He tried to steer the ship by pivoting to personal computers like the Atari ST, but honestly, they couldn't keep up with Apple or IBM. And their attempt at a comeback was the Atari Jaguar in 1993. It was marketed as the first 64-bit console, but let's just say it didn't stand a chance against Sony's PlayStation or Sega Saturn. So what's left of Atari today? Well, years of being passed around like an old joystick, the brand has resurfaced here and there, and they've dabbled in retro-style consoles, mobile games, and even NFTs because why not? But here's the thing. Atari isn't just a company. It's a legacy. Without Atari, there's no Nintendo, there's no PlayStation, no Xbox. They built the foundation of modern gaming, proving that games can be more than a novelty. They can be an art form, a business, and a cultural movement. So next time you fire up that PlayStation or dive into a battle royale, take a moment to thank Atari. They may have crashed and burned, but their impact on gaming is eternal. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite Atari game or memory. Until next time, game on.